Watch your back, Crawford. Watch your back. Yeah. Uh-huh. That's what it is. I don't care what anybody say. The cops send a message. This our city. You might got the key, but I got the handcuffs. That's what that was. Yeah.
Imagine the scene. Thousands of people line the streets, their cheers echoing through downtown Omaha. They're here for one man, their hometown hero, Terence "Bud" Crawford. He's just achieved the impossible, becoming the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. He holds a parade, receiving the key to the city, standing as a symbol of greatness. He is, in that moment, the king of his world. But just a few hours later, that same king would be ordered out of his car at gunpoint, his hands in the air, treated not like a hero, but like a threat.
Stepping out, seatbelt.
Step out.
I'm opening the door.
You can take
I'm
mine
opening
off
the door.
of me right here on my right. I'm keeping my fucking hands up.
I'm not reaching for no gun, bro.
Step out.
Can I move my phone?
Yeah, that's crazy.
The celebration in Omaha wasn't just for another victory, it was to honor a truly historic achievement that etched Terence Crawford's name into the echelons of boxing history. Just weeks earlier, he had stepped into the ring in Las Vegas against the formidable Saul Canelo Alvarez and put on a masterclass performance. By defeating Canelo, Crawford didn't just win a belt, he became the first male boxer in the modern four-belt era to become the undisputed champion in 3 separate weight divisions. This accomplishment put him in a league of his own, cementing his legacy as one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters to ever live. He wasn't just a champion, he was a living legend walking the streets of his hometown. The city's adoration was on full display in the weeks leading up to the parade. Crawford was the embodiment of Omaha's fighting spirit, and the community embraced him at every turn. He was given the honor of leading the Nebraska Cornhuskers football team onto the field during a recent game, a symbolic gesture that showcased his status as the state's favorite son.
Hours after Omaha celebrated hometown boxing champ Bud Crawford's accomplishments with a parade, he's pulled over by Omaha police, setting off a firestorm on social media.
He was more than an athlete. He was a source of immense local pride, a figure who represented the pinnacle of success. This deep connection between Crawford and his city is what makes the events that unfolded just a few hours later not only shocking, but a profound betrayal of the very community he so proudly represented.
Today is Bud Crawford's birthday. He turned 38. What happened at the traffic stop early this morning in downtown Omaha is now the subject of an internal investigation at the police department.
We'll hear from Crawford's security guard who was in the vehicle in a moment, plus reaction from the mayor. First, a breakdown of what police say took place this morning. Around 1:30 this morning, Omaha police say they spotted a vehicle driving recklessly near 12th and Capitol. This is near the Steel House where Crawford's after party was being held, which was attended by many, including Mayor Ewing. A traffic stop was conducted on Cass Street, a couple blocks to the north of there. Officers say they ordered everyone out of the vehicle for their safety when they saw a gun on the driver's floorboard. And only after that did they say they identified Bud Crawford by looking at his driver's license.
According to the official police report, the incident began shortly before 1:30 in the morning. Officers on patrol claimed they observed a vehicle being driven recklessly. They initiated a traffic stop, and as they approached the car, an officer spotted a firearm on the driver's side floorboard. The situation escalated in an instant. Citing safety concerns, the officers drew their weapons and ordered all 4 occupants, including Terence Crawford, out of the vehicle. Video footage that quickly spread across social media captured the tense moment. The world's greatest pound-for-pound boxer had his hands raised, being treated like a dangerous felon on the streets he calls home. He was eventually issued a citation for reckless driving and let go. On paper, it sounds like a tense but procedural stop. That's when another boxing legend, former world champion Timothy Bradley Jr., stepped forward with a bombshell perspective.
Desert Storm Bradley, you already know the rest. And I'm here to talk about that Terence Crawford incident, man. Dang. I swear, man, like, when things are going too damn good, man, something always gotta ruin it, man. You know, it's like it's like back in the days when, you know, I used to sip on that syrup, bro, and we've all been there, and then somebody just bring down your high. That's how that was. I mean, Terence Crawford, he on the highest cloud, bro. In his city, let him know. Let him know. With this pullover, this was authorized. Think about that. Authorized to pull him over. That you ain't gonna never be bigger than us. That's what the cops sent a message.
Bradley, an analyst known for his sharp insights, saw through the official narrative immediately. He claimed this wasn't about reckless driving or officer safety. This was a calculated message from law enforcement to their city's biggest star. Bradley put it in the most chilling terms possible.
I don't care what anybody say. The cops sent a message. This our city. You might got the key, but I got the handcuffs. You ain't got no city unless you got the police. Don't ever forget that. You gotta have the law enforcement on your side, man. They gotta be looking out for you. For the good, not for the bad, for the good.
He argued that the entire stop was authorized with a specific purpose in mind, to put Crawford back in his place and remind him who truly holds the power in Omaha.
Terence Crawford is so revered now, right? Because he's the best boxer in the world. And they can't beat him inside the ring. But what they can do is show him his place outside the ring. That's what this was, okay? Yes, they knew who he was. That's the point. Y'all keep saying, man, they knew who he was. Yes, they knew who he was. That's the point.
This wasn't a mistake or a misunderstanding. It was a deliberate act of humiliation, designed to knock a hero off his pedestal just as he reached the highest cloud.
You can't tell me you did not understand who this man was or know who this man was on the day that the city was shut down for this man, Terence Crawford. And it's his birthday, the same day that this man is being handed the keys to the city. And then to pull him out of the car and then handcuff him?
This cop did it. Come on, dude. Not knowing who he is, this cop's trying to become famous, bro. That's crazy.
Even the mayor had to publicly write a letter of apology. He's pulled over, which is perfectly normal. At no point did this man get belligerent. Why was this man pulled out of his car and handcuffed?
I think he knew. Like, he did that to get famous. Like, he did that to get attention.
I understand there was a gun in the car. He did notify him of that. But why was he pulled out of the car?
Certain cops have like a different style, bro. They get that ego stroke, feeling that power over somebody.
But why would police officers in his own city want to humiliate him? According to Bradley, the motive was one of the oldest and most destructive human emotions: raw, unfiltered jealousy.
Terence Crawford, it don't matter what you do for your city, man. Bruh, I'm letting you know right now, man. With this incident right here, they waiting on you to do something bad. This dude right here, he was trying to jack you. He was trying to catch you slipping. That's all it was. Seeing you on TV, displayed all on TV, parade shut down and stuff. He gotta be, you know, securing certain points and stuff like that. He mad to see you be as big as you are.
He described the officers as being furious, watching Crawford's victory parade, seeing the city shut down to celebrate him. In their eyes, he had become bigger than them, bigger than the institution they represented. Bradley said it plainly.
Ain't no way around it, jealousy and envy. Oh yeah, it runs deep through people. Yeah, it do. Yeah. And this young gun or whoever the hell he is, and I hope so. Hey, I hope he be reprimanded, man. Put you in handcuffs in your city, bruh. In your city in handcuffs. But this is the reality we live in, people. This is the reality we live in, man. You can be doing everything right, man. There's always somebody trying to bring you down.
It's a shocking accusation that the very people sworn to protect and serve were instead driven by a petty need to tear down a local hero whose star was shining too brightly. They were waiting for him to slip up, and when he didn't, they created a situation where they could make him look like he did. The official police account stated that officers observed a firearm on the driver's side floorboard, prompting them to draw their weapons. However, Kasim Chavez, Crawford's head of security who was in the car, directly refutes this. According to Chavez, Crawford had already informed officers he didn't have his license or registration on him, having left everything at home, meaning he never reached for anything.
Be a man who can receive his second key to the city and have a firearm pulled on him by the Omaha Police Department all in the same day. Imagine that. Man, I thought we were getting ready to lose our lives. Oh man, it was terrible. It was terrible.
Chavez alleges the situation truly escalated when Crawford, legally permitted to carry, simply stated, "I have a firearm too." This declaration, rather than a visible weapon, allegedly caused the officer on Crawford's side to go ballistic and become totally unhinged, ordering them out of the car at gunpoint despite no physical gun being in sight on the floorboard.
And as soon as he said he had a firearm, the police officer that was on his side became unhinged. I literally had my hands on top of the ceiling in the inside of the vehicle. He never see a pistol, he never see a firearm anywhere. They didn't even see the firearm on me because of the way I was positioned in the vehicle. There was no reason to have drawn guns on us. That no matter how prepared you are, no matter how calm you are, if you run into a rogue police officer who wants to escalate, then he's going to escalate.
Highlighting the terrifying nature of the encounter. Further casting doubt on the police's justification, Crawford's team also challenged the initial reason for the stop itself. While the officers claimed reckless driving, they admitted they did not have radar equipment to actually measure speeding. This admission raises serious questions about the initial pretext for pulling over the vehicle, suggesting the entire encounter might have been manufactured. It points to a disturbing scenario where the police, rather than enforcing legitimate traffic laws, were actively looking for a reason to assert dominance over a figure who had become larger than life in their city, fabricating justifications when none truly existed. To prove just how personal and twisted this incident was, Timothy Bradley shared a jaw-dropping story from his own past, one that shows just how differently things could have gone. Years ago, before he was a household name but was still a known local fighter, Bradley was out late one night after leaving a club. By his own admission, he was intoxicated and acting a fool, revving his sports car, doing donuts in the street, and generally driving wildly. He was so out of control that he blew his car's clutch and had to pull over. The next thing he knew, police lights were flashing in his rearview mirror. He was caught, dead to rights, and knew he was in serious trouble. But what happened next was stunning. One of the officers recognized him. He knew Bradley, knew his father, and knew what he meant to the community. Instead of dragging him out of the car and putting him in cuffs for multiple clear violations, the officer simply asked, "Hey, you need a ride home?" The police in his city of Palm Springs looked out for him.
I thought in that moment first, I said, you know what, I better tell the truth. I said, hey man, I saw some honeys. Let them know, I'm out here wilding out. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I was wilding a little bit out here, man. I blew my clutch. Oh, okay. All right. You need a ride home? Cops say that to me. How you gonna get home? I'm like, thinking to myself like, really? Damn. He know I'm drunk. He can smell it on my breath. I see him coming up close to me. I'm trying to bag up. I'm roasted. I was just driving the whip. I'm intoxicated. He could take me in right now. No, he didn't. He looked out for your boy. Kept my image intact. Yeah. Law enforcement, Palm Springs PD, looked out for your boy.
They saw a local hero, even one making a foolish mistake, and chose to protect his image rather than tear it down. They gave him a pass. This incredible contrast lays the truth bare. Bradley, who was admittedly drunk and driving dangerously, was protected. Crawford, accused of reckless driving with a legal firearm in his car, was treated like a violent criminal. The difference reveals everything about the intent behind Crawford's arrest. The entire justification for the guns-drawn approach hinges on one detail: the officer seeing a firearm in Crawford's car. But this is where the official story completely falls apart. As Timothy Bradley furiously pointed out, the state of Nebraska is a constitutional carry state. It is perfectly legal to have a firearm in your vehicle.
This ain't right, man, and this shouldn't happen. And I hope something happened to that officer, man, that put you in handcuffs, bro, because if you know anything about the state of Nebraska, you have the right to carry. You do, even in your vehicle. Yeah. And so when they do these routine stops or whatever, tail light out or whatever, they pulling people out the car like that, putting them in handcuffs because they got a pistol on them, which is legal in the state. That's what they doing with everybody? I highly damn doubt that.
In fact, the police later confirmed that Crawford and his security team were all legally permitted to carry. This raises the critical question that exposes the entire incident for what it likely was. Are the Omaha police ordering every single citizen they pull over with a legal firearm out of their car at gunpoint? The answer is almost certainly no. This wasn't standard procedure. This was a procedure chosen specifically for Terence Crawford, transforming a legal right into a pretext for aggressive and humiliating action. It suggests he was targeted not for what he did, but for who he is. An incident this explosive, involving a figure as beloved as Terence Crawford, couldn't be swept under the rug. The video went viral, and public outrage forced the city's leadership to respond. Omaha's mayor, John Ewing, released a statement saying his heart dropped when he learned how Crawford's celebratory day had ended. He revealed that he had spoken personally with the boxing champion and acknowledged the seriousness of what happened, admitting it damaged the trust between the community and law enforcement.
I was briefed this morning and my heart sank, to be quite honest. So I was heartbroken that something that was so good would then have an issue that would potentially have people concerned about police-community relations. The most important thing I think that Bud and I talked about is that we would have a thorough investigation and that we would be completely transparent in that investigation.
The police chief quickly pledged a full internal affairs investigation, promising transparency. The fact that the city's highest officials had to intervene and launch a formal investigation confirms this was no ordinary traffic stop. It was an event that rocked the city and exposed a deep, uncomfortable rift between the police and the community they are supposed to serve. With a formal investigation underway and his city on edge, Terence Crawford was left to process the betrayal. He had conquered every opponent in the ring, climbing weight class after weight class to achieve legendary status. Yet his biggest challenge came not from a fearsome opponent under the bright lights of Las Vegas, but on a dark road in the one place he was supposed to feel safest. Timothy Bradley's final words on the matter served as a grim warning to his fellow champion. "Watch your back, Crawford. Watch your back." It's a chilling reminder that for some heroes, the most dangerous fights aren't for world titles. Sometimes the battle is for basic respect on the streets of your own hometown against an enemy you never saw coming. So, that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.